Hey guys, so this week we're talking about bucket lists. So, let's see. List of buckets I can think of. There are paint buckets and water buckets, there are puke buckets, there are honey buckets, there are metal buckets, there are plastic buckets. I feel like I'm missing a lot. Anyways, in all seriousness, we're talking about things we want to do. Things we have on this imaginary bucket list that we'd like to cross off. Or maybe it's not so imaginary, maybe some of us actually have like a checklist of things. I know I don't have like a real physical list of things I want to do before I die. But at the same time, putting the twist of, things that are not necessarily on everyone's bucket list. As far as acting aspirations, I don't know that I have any. If I had one, it would probably be to have the role of Belle from Beauty and the Beast, because I would love having that role, because I am a dedicated bookworm. I loved the movie since I first saw it, and I watch it repeatedly, and it's just, that would be so close to my heart. Even if I was only Belle for like one show, I'd be perfectly happy. So that's maybe my only acting aspiration that I would have. Even if just for one day I made a costume and looked like Belle, that would make me happy. But I think it falls into one of those things of, it would be nice, but if I'm coming to the end of my life, I wouldn't be like, oh, I never got to do that. I wouldn't sigh and like be sad about it. I'd just be like, okay, it's just one of those things that never happened. As for things that I would really enjoy to happen, most of you guys don't know this. I don't think anyone on the channel knows this, because I only really know Tim. But I am bilingual. I am Hispanic. I know it's kind of hard to tell past the really pasty white skin, but I am Hispanic and I am bilingual, so I speak English and Spanish, and I am fluent in Spanish. I might not be the best when it comes to speaking it, but I'll be able to follow the conversation and try my best to talk with you in Spanish. But even though I am bilingual, I want to learn at least like one or two more languages at the very least. I am very much an admirer of languages, probably because of how beautifully and differently things can be said. Like, having learned English and Spanish growing up, it's like interesting to see how in English most of our words have a simple meaning that you can define a word in a single word, or in like small phrases, but other things like that other languages have much more meaning tied to it, or they have phrases that pack a lot more to it. It's really interesting to me, languages. So I really want to learn at least one or two more. Ideally, I'd love to learn a lot more languages than that, but I think I'll stick to one or two more. One of which I would really like to learn is Gaelic. And I know I've talked to people and they're like, Gaelic, that's kind of stupid because no one speaks Gaelic anymore. Like, it's becoming a dead language, why would you want to speak it? And I'm like, because it's something I want to do. It's how I am. I'm one of those people that wants to learn it. That's one big thing on my bucket list. Another thing, not evident by the fact that I'm an English major and that I really like writing, is I'd really like to be a best-selling author. I want that to happen for me one day. It could be like only one book and it makes the New York Times list, and I'd be perfectly fine if that's how it went. If I only had one book that made it on that list, I'd be satisfied. I'd be like, I'm happy. That's all I wanted, was one book that impacted people, that had enough of an impact and was good enough that it caught the attention of other people. That's a big one for me, and I'm setting steps and walking towards that goal, so it's gonna be an interesting journey. Other than that, I think most of them are pretty generic on my list, like wanting to meet the people you aspire to be, or aspire to be like, or just working with people that you really admire their work, or how they approach their work. I think that's really cool. There are many authors, there are like actors, there are directors, there are just a lot of people out in the world that are doing something that I'd love to just meet in a cafe for like, even if it was only like 5 minutes, and say, hi, like, you're amazing. Can you tell me one tip you have, or can you tell me what had the biggest impact on you? Anything, honestly. It would be great. I'm just one of those kind of people. I think I mentioned last week that I'm kind of a Renaissance woman and that I have a lot of things I want to learn to do. Like, next semester I am taking a fencing class, which is going to be amazing. And my school also offers archery lessons, and that's something I want to learn to do. I would really love to learn like proper archery and how to do that. I'm one of the weird people that wants to learn for the rest of my life, and that's what I want to do. I think if there's anything that would be like a blanket answer, that like would be a blanket topic on my list that could have a bunch of little sub things that are more specific, it'd be to never stop learning. To never stop picking up skills, because I'm just kind of weird like that. I look forward to seeing what everyone else has to say. Yeah, that's, I think, it for me. This one, I think, is actually probably one of my shorter gonna be one of my shorter videos. I tend to ramble a lot, guys, so be prepared for that in the future. Actually, that's probably one thing I'd like to put on my bucket list, is to learn to stop rambling. But then again, that also goes into the to never stop learning thing. Until next week, guys. See ya.